This is chapter 23 on page 628. This chapter is all about mining. This case study is very interesting. It is about mining for cell phones in Africa, and it's important as a global citizen to realize that our use of resources does impact other people and other countries all over the world. And so this is very interesting. I really encourage you to read about this and mining for precious metals that we use in our cell phones. So definitely would encourage that. This first section, you don't really need to know this, but it's just some background information about mining and minerals that we use in everyday life, and how a lot of these minerals that we use are used in, or a lot of the minerals that we mine, they're used so much in our everyday life, and we tend to take them for granted. So you can read about that and look at that figure. And on page 632, you need to know what a metal is, what ore is, smelting. And smelting is a process to get that metal or the minerals out of ore, the rock that contains the metal or the minerals. Tailings, which are the leftover rocks, the leftover ore whenever the minerals or the metal are taken out of the ore. The tailing is what's left. And then know what surface impoundments are. And these two are on this page right here. So going to page 634, know what strip mining is, what overburden is. So overburden is the soil and the rock that we put aside, or the ground that we put aside when we're mining. Subsurface, which is on the next page. And then acid mine drainage, which when we mine, sometimes when we mine certain ore, sulfuric acid can be released, and that can get into the groundwater or the water supply. So these are two different types of mining. There is subsurface mining, which is underground. Sub means under. And there's also surface mining, and a type of surface mining that you need to know is strip mining. And so strip mining is done on the side of hills, and we take away the rock and the mineral, or in this case it's coal, bit by bit on the hillside, and this can remove vegetation and then cause erosion, and it can also destroy habitats. So know that figure and caption and the difference between these two. And then subsurface mining is the most dangerous for people because we're going underground and mines lapse. And we can also get something called black lung disease from mining for many, many years. But it is the least environmentally harmful. It's still harmful for the environment, but it's less so than surface mining is to the environment. And then it tends to be the most expensive because it's the most difficult to get mineral when you're digging underground for it and trying to find it. So going on to page 639, no open pit mining, and here is a really great picture of open pit mining. No mountaintop removal. So mountaintop removal, which they're showing right here. And this is very, very destructive for the environment. It can cause a large amount of erosion, or it does. Because of that, it's loosening up the soil, and so that can cause some problems. So know the problems, and the problems are also all along these paragraphs in this caption. Know what problems are associated with mountaintop removal. And then know the environmental impacts of mining in general. So habitat destruction and erosion are mainly in surface mining, like mountaintop removal, strip mining, open pit mining. And again, erosion is because we're removing vegetation, we're loosening up the soil, and that soil can move away and erode. And then also we can contaminate groundwater in all types of mining. That sulfuric acid can be, because whenever coal, the seams from the coal are exposed to oxygen, which they haven't been exposed to oxygen in a very, or ever, and we expose it to oxygen, then sulfuric acid can be a byproduct, and can cause acid mine drainage. And it can also release toxic air emissions. Some of those include dust particles and methane, especially in coal mining. And you need to know what these two are. This could be an AP test question, but slag is toxic heavy metals that are made as a product in the reactions whenever some of those metals are exposed to oxygen or water. And tailings, which is the leftover rock that is left behind after we take out the mineral from the ore. And they're the primary cause of water contamination. And also know that as more accessible ores are mined and depleted, we must access lower grade ore, and this is ore that's harder to find, so we need to use more resources to extract it, and that can cause more waste and pollution. Also know what reclamation is. Reclamation is restoring the land back, or as do a good job as we can to restore it back to its original condition. And this is by law. When we mine, companies have to reclaim land, and so it should look how it did before they mined it. And that is all for chapter 23.